Hi guys, I'm Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about overhyped books. And what I mean by this is books that have been hyped up on BookTube or on blogs, and when I read them I was quite disappointed by them. I have 21 books to talk about and they are all popular books, overhyped books in my opinion, and they are going to be quite controversial, so please don't hate me. I'm going to be going through them very quickly because 21 books is going to be a very long video if I stand still by all of these books. So let's dive in. The first two books are actually books by Cassandra Clare, and she's a very popular author. And the first book is A Clockwork Angel, and also the second book, which is Clockwork Prince. And I have read both of those and I had no interest at all in reading the third book, Clockwork Princess. I thought it was so boring. I was bored out of my mind. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was great at all. I had such a hard time getting through both of those books. I was literally torturing myself. I just wanted to punch myself in the face while reading it because I didn't know why I was doing this to myself. And the second book by Cassandra Clare is City of Bones, and this is the only book I've read in the Immortal Instruments series, but I didn't see the appeal in this at all. I thought it was so bad. The writing was bad. The plot wasn't my style at all. And maybe the books get better in the rest of the series. I have the second book as my tripod actually, and maybe I will read that because I think it is a waste if I will leave it as my tripod and not read it, but this one was not my cup of tea. The third book is 13 Reasons Why by J. Asher, and oh my god, I thought this one was going to be so great. It has been on my TBR for so long, and I finally read it this year and I was like, I'm going to do this. And then I read it and I was so disappointed because everyone has been loving this book, but I felt like the main character who got a tape by this girl who committed suicide was just blaming her for not talking to him while she barely knew him. I mean, she's not going to talk to someone who she doesn't know, and I was just so disappointed. I don't think I've ever been more disappointed by a book than I was by 13 Reasons Why. Another disappointing book, The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. I was expecting so much after reading The Rest of Us Just Live Here, but it was bad. Like, I had so many problems with this, which I talk about, I think, in my May or June wrap-up, but honestly, so bad. It was so bad. Like, literally, so bad. If I Stay by Gayle Foreman. This video is going to be a shit show. Like, literally, I was so mad at this book. It was so boring. Again, I read this book, and the thing is, a couple of months after, I didn't even remember reading this book, and I apparently saw the movie because I deleted this whole story from my brain, and the second time I saw the movie, I was like, I remember all of this happening. Have I seen this thing before? And then I was like, yeah, I have seen this movie before. Like, the whole story, the whole plot of this was just Amy and Roger's epic Detour. I read this past month, July. God, I had so many problems with this. People have been hyping up all of Morgan Matson's books, and I love Since You've Been Gone, but this is the second book I read by her, and god, so many playlists. I was getting so frustrated over the fucking playlist. Like, there was a playlist with 17 songs, and 5 pages later we will get another playlist with another 17 songs. When am I supposed to listen to these playlists? Tell me, when am I going to listen to 192 songs? When? The next book is The Lost Hero by Rick Riordan, another popular series. And also Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. I really dislike the first books in both of those series, and I have never read another book in those series because it just wasn't for me. I'm not for the mythology aspects of it, and I was so bored. Like, I felt I was reading a middle grade story while reading The Lost Hero. I felt it like it was written so juvenile. On the French Kiss with Stephanie Perkins, cheating story gone bad. Honestly, ugh. Etienne and his girlfriend and Anna, like, literally, why? Why do people think this is a cute romance? He has been cheating on his girlfriend for months, and we all go, ballistic over it, and we were like, oh my god, such a great book, such a lovely romance, perfect couple. Cheating doesn't make it a perfect couple. Legends by Marie Lu. I read The Young Elise by Marie Lu and I really liked it, and then I thought, oh, I'm going to read the Legend trilogy. It's going to be so great. It has a 4 points, somewhat average rating on Goodreads. And then I read this and I was like, what is this? What am I reading? Honestly, the romance between Day and June? What? This whole concept, this whole premise, I don't think I'm in for dystopia anymore. Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. Only read the first book. I have the second book on my TBR because I want to find out if I really dislike this story, because one of my favorite booktubers has been raving about this series and I read the first book and all I can say is incest. Ugh. Incest. The other book I hate is Losing It by Cora Carmack. Also a really hyped up book. Everyone has been raving about this, and when I read I was like, a teacher-student romance? Really? Really? I thought it was so cringeworthy. Oh my god, there was a sex scene in this. I was just cringing all the way through. Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell. That ending. That ending. It makes me so mad. So mad. Fangirl. Another fucking cheating incident where I was like, how can everyone just forget it? How can everyone ship Levi and Kath? He literally cheated on her. Vicious by V. Schwab, because there has never been another book where there were morally ambiguous characters, except for this one. Girl Online by Zoe Sugg. I love Zoe. I do. I love Zoe. I watch all of her vlogs, all of her videos, but when I read this book, I was like, what is this shit? Sorry, I'm really sorry, but I couldn't get over it. It's a middle grade story. It's not young adult. You can't tell me it's young adult because it's really not. And it was such a basic bitch story, I can't get over it. You by Caroline Kepnes. A random stalker guy who talks vulgarly about a woman he's stalking and does all of these weird ass things. Like, I was just laughing my way through this and being disgusted by him. I didn't feel sympathetic towards him for one moment like everyone said I would, but I was just so mad after I read this book. I was like, the fuck did you just do? Confess by Colleen Hoover. Oh my god, seriously, the secret the guy had in this book was so bad. I expected something major, and then he came out with something like that, and I was like, is that the secret you're not going to tell Auburn? Like, is that everything? Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli. I have read so much about this on blogs, and I didn't like who Blue turned out to be, and I should have expected it, but I was like, ew, is this who Blue is? Oh, I don't ship it. I don't. A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I haven't read the second book, which I am planning on doing because everyone, literally everyone, seems to be loving A Court of Mist and Fury. But The Court of Thorns and Roses wasn't good, in my opinion. I liked it, but I was just disappointed by it. I expected so much more from it. I expected a steamy romance, and I didn't like Tamlin. I literally shipped Pharaoh with everyone and everything except Tamlin, and that is a big problem. If the main romance in the first book is Tamlin, I would have let him die. Then a sequel, P.S. I Still Love You by Jenny Han. The first book, To All the Boys I've Loved Before, was so much fun, and then it got turned into a duology, and I didn't like who Laura Jean ended up with at the end of this duology, which is now turned into a trilogy. I am going to get myself spoiled to see if she will end up with the right guy this time. Otherwise, I refuse to read this book. So these were 21 books that I thought were overhyped, and I got a bit heated there. I'm sorry, but I really enjoyed making this video. I hope you enjoyed it too. Let me know down below which books you thought were overhyped, or if you agree or disagree with me. Be nice though. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.